So I quit my job of 11 years in February of 2024. I showed up 5 minutes early every day. I did my job plus more on top of that. I didn't just do my job, I did extra work on top of that. And really, I walked off the job one day. I had gone on vacation and then I came back in February to a new schedule change. I used to have Friday, Saturday as my days off, but they changed my schedule and gave me Thursday, Friday. After years of having Friday, Saturday, they took away my Saturday. So when I came back from vacation, I came back on a Saturday, and I heard from a coworker that we have a new system, that they implemented the new system that they're talking about. And I'm saying, well, what's this new system? And so it's basically based on a piece count because I was working in a warehouse. And what they handed me was double the amount of work that we usually did. And I was just shocked because I saw this big bundle of work that was like double the amount of work for one person. And they told me that I had to do it in less than 8 hours because they calculated that I was able to do it based on some numbers that they crunched, that it was totally doable to do double in less time. That was their new strategy, their new plan at my job. They wanted to double my work and tell me to do it quicker. That's their plan. Their new scheme, the new plan, their new high octane power thought plan with all the innovation, and was literally just do more and do it faster. That was their goal. That was their whole vision for how to change everything, rather than letting us, pull the work as we go and doing a little extra on top of that. They just said, do more, do it faster. That was their grand idea. And so when I went in, I looked at this work, I just held a big fat stack of work. And I just thought, someone has to answer for this. Like, this is unacceptable. But I knew darn well no one cared. And so I just walked over to the assistant lead supervisor, handed them my badge, and quit my job. And I didn't really want to. I think I kind of needed to, but I didn't want to leave that job. It was just absurd. Like, it was ludicrous what they were asking of me. They were saying, you know, it's really just goes back to what companies want nowadays. They just want more for less. Whether you're a customer or a client or an employee, these companies just want more for less. That's really the bottom line. That's why you see everything going up. That's why all the jobs are crappy, and they're incentivized. They're incentivized to do that, because they're beholden to the shareholders. But it was just kind of a bummer because that job paid a decent wage, and you know, in hindsight, I think back to it might have actually not been that decent of a wage, and even before then, even back when I first started that job, it probably wasn't even enough back then. Even though my bills were paid and everything was okay and everything was, for the most part, taken care of, I think back, and I think just getting by, which is what we used to be able to do working full time, it just wasn't enough. It never really was enough. You get this revelation later in life. You realize that the wages, even though they were enough to get by back in the day, it just wasn't. It was never enough to begin with. But, anyways, I'm not ashamed that I quit my job of 11 years. I think it's a pretty immaculate track record considering that people job hop all the time. But I don't think that's something to be proud of necessarily. I mean, I can use that as leverage for getting another job, showing that I have a long work history. But um, it's not necessarily something to be proud of. It's, it's an asset to leverage on a resume. But saying that I worked somewhere for 11 years and gave them like a third of my life, my good young working life. It's not shameful, but it's not something that I'm proud of. It's it's a mixed bag, but it's not something that I wanted to do. I wanted to stay at that company because I was, comfortable. I had plenty of vacation. I had over a month of vacation, but I just had to go. The management there was awful, and from what I hear from other people that I keep in touch with, is that a lot of people are quitting, a lot of people are getting fired, a lot of people are on the cusp of getting fired because they have too many points, too many reprimands and write-ups, and a lot of people are out injured, which I find to be shocking. They onboarded a lot of new employees, and a lot of people are not being trained well, or they're being pushed really hard, and people are out injured right now. Apparently, I heard at some point in the past few months, I heard that like 17 people or around 17 people were out injured at one point and hurt on the job. 17 people were out on injury. And even when I was there, towards the end of my employment there, I think I saw like 2 or 3 people out on workman's comp or doing light duty. And I was just like, wow, like this is unprecedented. And now that I'm gone, I'm hearing there's like way more people out injured. I feel like the management there doesn't know what they're doing. It's just poor leadership all around. They're trying to cut back on everything, anything and everything, just so that they can show on a spreadsheet that they're a great manager. But it's been nothing but a whole scandal for that whole company. And, that's just how it is when inadequate managers step into a position of authority. The decisions they make, the leadership that they have is, it's all poor quality. And I'm seeing from an outsider's perspective, things are beginning to fall apart there. And really, it's all part of the course at this point. It was all going to go downhill because these managers don't have the reins on this company, and it's tanking. So I hope that people that are working there can be gainful somewhere else or have something else at the end of this. And but yeah, that was more or less my story about how this year in 2024 I quit my job. I'm not saying necessarily that you should quit too, but it was something that I had to do. So I don't know if that's something that you feel inspired to do. I'm not telling you that that's the greatest idea in the world, but for me, that was the move. And for some other people, that might be the move. I know some people in my life who need to make that move, including people that I know that work there, and some family members that are unhappy doing what they're doing. But try to be responsible. I had some vacation time that I could cash out when I left there. So I had something to be a cushion between, like a buffer between the point I lost my job and got another job. So anyways, that was more or less the story. And and I hope you enjoyed my little rant. Anyways, take care.